the truth is, as a young teenager trying to get rich, chances are all of the books, most of the podcasts are wrong. You're just being lied to. And it's coming from even the most well-intentioned coaches. And this is because they're not writing content for you. They've been out of the game for 20 years and they're writing business for already successful people. They're telling you to do things like focus, work on your passion, invest money into your learning. In today's video, I'm going to cover the 4 main things that I believe if you can achieve these things and focus on these things, you can get stupidly rich. For those that don't know me, I'm Davie Fogarty. I started at Oodie, did $600 million in 6 years on e-commerce. I'm also the youngest ever shark on Shark Tank Australia. In this video, I'm not going to sell you anything, absolutely nothing. I have nothing to sell beginners. I don't sell to beginners. I only help experts in Shopify already. The first thing I see people get wrong is they tell people to focus on their passion. Kids that have just been in school 9 to 8 to whatever, 3 o'clock for the past 10, 12 years. They don't know what they're passionate about. They have a suspicion. Then they're told to pick a career that they're going to focus the next 10 years of their life on. This is insane. You need to, at a young age, create optionality for what you can be working on so you can explore as many passions as possible. One of my first ever successful businesses was I was buying singlets, NBA singlets and NBA snapbacks, like these caps from China, and I would post them on Facebook and then I would jump in my RAV4, take them, get the cash. It was the first time I've ever actually made a little bit of money. And was I passionate about the clothing industry back then? Absolutely not. Was I passionate about NBA? I could barely name 2 teams. One thing I was passionate about is money. If you can focus on developing passion for these primary objectives, which is hard work, learning, making money, that is going to allow you to explore so many more passions at a later date. For example, you love painting in school. This is what I'd like to refer to as a secondary passion, because let's say you want to just, all you want to do is paint every single day for the rest of your life. You're going to have to get a job. You're going to have to buy the paint somewhere. You're going to have to pay for your family. You're going to have to pay for your rent. And suddenly you're not going to be able to paint all the time. Sometimes what you've got to do is you've got to set yourself up with the skills to make money first so that you have freedom in your 9 to 5 so that you can paint as much as you want. If you can get a side hustle working, then you're less reliant on the rat race so you can focus on your passion more. Or better yet, you can entwine the skills that you've learned from making money to painting, selling the paintings online, and then suddenly you can focus on that passion even more. You don't even need to use that painting passion initially to make money. You want to get really, really good results early. You want to get that first win. The first win is so important because if you can get the first win, it'll create what's called a positive feedback loop. That first Shopify ka-ching will just hit the brain to the point where that's all you want to do and you're going to find new learnings. Failure is great, but you also really need to get these positive wins to reinforce your desire to continually do that. One thing that might happen then is you might start to really feel passionate about the mundane. I think Alex Hormozi talks about this a lot. He talks about when things get hard, he loves it because he knows that people aren't going to follow him in that direction. It's called hedonic reversal. They feel pleasure in terms of being like miserable. Elon Musk is like this. He doesn't need to work. Warren Buffett still at 92 years old reads 500 pages a day. He was the richest person in like 2009 or whatever, $60 billion net worth. And he still finds huge passion in that mundane. Eventually the work will become play. And that's when things can be really exciting and you can create prosperity for the rest of your life. That being said, you do need to make sure that you are passionate about it. Otherwise you're just constantly chasing money. That's when mental health issues can happen, which is my final point that I'll cover in a sec. Once you've kind of got this plan around passion and how you're going to make your first dollars, you're going to be very tempted to buy a course. As a beginner, you should not do that. Let me explain how this course structure works. They prey on your thoughts that, oh, maybe this is the last secret that I need. Maybe I'm stupid, but this can get me over the line and make me my first dollars. The way courses work is someone will do something remarkable. They'll do, let's take setting up Airbnbs. They'll set up 5 Airbnbs and they'll make good amounts of money. Because they can't just keep doing that because it's very expensive. The cost of production is expensive. What they can do is they can create a course and sell that using their credentials. And there's zero cost of reproduction, so they end up making more money from this. which I have no problem. Like if they're going to make more money from their course, but they're still providing value, that's great. The problem is when someone sees that the course is making a lot of money, they will launch a similar course, someone that has the similar knowledge, and they'll charge less. Eventually, we'll keep going down this stack, and someone will launch a free video on YouTube because they can make AdSense revenue, and they also can build up their brand to one day sell another something. And what the truth is that there's something called the Pareto principle, which is an 80-20 rule, that 20% of your actions produce 80% of the results. The truth is that YouTube video has the 20% of actions that you need to do to get the 80% of the results. You don't need to spend $3,000, $4,000 on a course to get those initial results. As a beginner, you are time rich and cash poor. Eventually, you will become cash rich and time poor, but you need to use that time to actually sort through the actual information out there, because the truth is, sorting through the information and getting bad information and proving it's bad is part of the journey. It's a skill in itself. The next step is you need to identify the skill that you're going after, and then identify the skill stack that you need to get results in that. So there's three main things that I love for beginners to start with. I started with them all. Obviously I'm biased, but you've got content creation, you've got social media marketing agencies, and you've got Facebook ads or media buying in general. It can be Google, whatever. These provide a lot of value to the end customer. And as a law, the more value you create for people, the more valued you are going to be. The more cash you can generate, these rich people that clearly show that, the more you can get paid. So let's say, for example, you're going to do Facebook media buying, or you're going to start an agency, There's a bunch of skills there. The first one is the actual subject matter expertise. So you've got to learn how to buy the ads or run the pages. Then you've actually got to learn cold outreach. You might also need a little bit of sales training. Let's take ecom, for example. There's so many skill sets that you need to learn to stack your set, which is product selection, media buying, customer service, operations. But you really need to identify these core pillars, because what I want you to do initially is go through YouTube and find very long, dry tutorials. It's not always the top viewed tutorial that is going to be the best here. Sometimes it's going to be the person that you can understand the best. And I think that once you get a lot of the theory in place, then suddenly you can Google the actual step-by-step tutorials. So we've got our theory-based level of knowledge, and then we go to the step-by-step tutorials and follow it step-by-step and just get the actual result for it. Get that first sale. And remember, if you can get in the same room as these people and build emotional connections through maybe free events, or just reaching out to these people that are slightly ahead of you, or joining free communities, that's what's really going to break down the barriers, because suddenly you have this one-on-one support that you can ask. If you insist on buying a course, now I don't have a paid Discord, but I have seen some Discords out there that are really good because they're like $30 a week. It's not one big $4,000 outlay payment. And you can go into it and you can ask a community when you get stuck. And then chances are that's going to unlock the course. So you can just watch all the course in 1 week for $30, get a little bit of help going from there, and then you can just cancel the membership. But this all needs to be relative to your net worth, because chances are you're going to need to use a little bit of that money to actually get a product or start running some ads. And the next thing is I want to send a warning out for the procrastinator, the person that keeps watching these YouTube videos and does not start something. You need to stop doing this. When Elon was about to go into space exploration, so just sold his payment company, he actually already had somewhat of a playbook to do it. He could have copied NASA. They've been around for 60 years or something like that. And they have a lot of bureaucracy, it just takes a long time to get anything done. And naturally, it makes sense. For rocket crashes, costs a lot of money. Elon went in a different direction. He decided to do a test and learn framework. He could only afford 3 rockets initially, but he launched them, and with each launch, they would crash. And he would learn things about design capability, about single points of failure, about efficiencies. And now he's at a point, granted they're different kind of missions, but like the NASA's space shuttle program's $450 million. Elon can launch rockets for $62 million, and that is constantly going down, simply because he's committed to figuring out what doesn't work through action and through data And you need to do that as well. You're going to fail. You're going to fail 3 to 10 times at least. There's a famous saying that reading, you get 10% retention. Hearing, you get 20% retention. Seeing, you get 30% retention. Seeing and hearing, 50% retention. Discussing, 70% retention. Doing/practicing, which is what I'm talking about, 80% retention. And then teaching is 95% retention. Now, this isn't proven, but I do agree that as soon as you can teach something or you actually do it, you retain so much more information. You can't just keep watching YouTube videos. For me, I launched a personal training business. I just learned how to show up every day. Didn't make much money. Then I launched a seasoning business. I learned how to build a website. Then I launched a cafe and I learned how to hire staff or manage cost of goods. None of these businesses made me money. But then my sixth business, I launched Carving Wikis. We did $10 million in its first year and did over $1 million in profit. You need to fail often. You need to fail early, but make sure you fail forward. The final thing I say is that everybody has excuses. Everybody has problems. And the main excuses and problems that I see kids make is they don't have enough money to start. Parents are too broke. They're not smart enough. The truth is, these feel like cliffs, but they're not. They're just mountains. And they're just mountains that you need to climb. And one thing you'll realize eventually is that the actual climbing of these mountains, getting over that hurdle, is the whole point. That is the skill set that you're acquiring. So let's say you don't have a laptop. You don't even have a computer. You're watching this on a phone. And you're like, I can't even run ads without a laptop. You need to figure out how to get 2 jobs and save money to buy that laptop. That's the whole point. Now you've figured that skill set out, and that's going to be applied to every other business that you launch for the rest of your life. As Ryan Holiday says, every single obstacle in the path comes the path. Every single challenge is an opportunity to improve your condition. As Marcus Aurelius says, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. The other thing is that these mountains, they always exist. Even someone successful that's making money. My mountain at the moment isn't, can I get a laptop to run ads? My mountain is my mental health. My mountain is, can I be positive about what I'm doing so that I can do more of it rather than getting panic attacks? These things shift. I've never had health issues prior. Like for 6 years, I was running a successful business. This is the thing. You're always going to come up to these and it's always going to feel cataclysmic. That you can't get over it, that you just want to give up. Everyone has these. You've just got to push through. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.